Hi friends, today we're going to be working on our warm and cool colored sunsets. This is if you don't have watercolors and you just want to use crayons instead, and that will work perfectly as well, so please don't worry. But what I have right now is a white piece of paper, a pencil, and I have my crayons. You can get all your crayons. I kind of sorted them by warm and cool colors. What's nice about the crayons is we have a couple different shades of like oranges, different shades of blues that you can use too. But right now, what I'm going to do with my paper is I'm going to fold it in half, hot dog style, making sure that the corners line up. Okay, and then I'm going to open it up. Now this line, I'm not going to draw a line here or anything. This is just here to show that the top's going to be the sky, the bottom's going to be the water. Even when I draw my water line, it's okay. If it goes above the line a little bit, it's just kind of to separate the two. But before we get started, we are going to draw our sun right in the middle. So I'm going to have half of the sun above the line and half of it below the line, right in the middle. Now you can just draw a circle. I might start with half of my line, and I'm drawing it in pencil first. So half of my line, my circle above, and then half of my circle below the line. Okay, and so I'm just going to fix this real quick. There we go. So once we have half of the sun above and half of it below, I'm going to take a white crayon. You don't have to do this. I just do this just in case as I'm coloring I accidentally get some of my crayon on top of it. Should keep it a little bit more white. I know it seems a little silly using white crayon on white paper. We use this for our crayon resist or oil pastel resist, so that when we paint, it doesn't stick to the sun. But we're going to do this just to be safe as well. So I'm pressing nice and hard. It's kind of hard to see white crayon on white paper. That's why I drew the circle in pencil, so I could see inside of it. I'm just kind of coloring where I think it needs it. All right. I'm going to start with my cool colors. So I have my blues, my green and purple. I definitely want to use more blue than green and purple just so it looks a little bit more like water. I'm going to start by making some wavy lines to create some movement in my picture. And I might start with these other two colors first, just use a little bit, and then go in with a lot more blue. So I'm going to start with my purple. And I'm going to make some wavy lines underneath this folded line here. It can go above a little bit. You can overlap them. I'm not making them perfect rows. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my green. Again, overlapping. The more layers, the better. We don't want too much white space. We will have a little bit of white space, but we just don't want too much. I'm pressing nice and hard with my crayon, so I have a nice dark color. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my blues. I can always go back and add more of these colors. I just don't want to add too much. So I have, this is just your regular blue. And again, I'm overlapping, making some wavy lines to create some texture. I'm not scribbling, okay? We're making wavy lines that go from one side of the paper to the other. Pressing nice and hard. I'm going to go in, this is blue-green. So we have some different shades of blue here. I know there's an even darker blue if you want to add that as well. Now, as I am coloring, I am pressing nice and hard, but I am going to leave some white space too, so I'm not filling it in completely with the blues. Okay? All right. So there is our water. Now we're going to go in with our warm colors. Now as I'm coloring with my warm colors, I'm going to use all three colors, kind of blending them as I go. And I'm even going to take my warm colors and color in some of these white spaces that I left. The reason why is because we're going to have the reflection of that sunset on the water. And that's even why we have the other part of the sun underneath the water, is because we have the reflection of the sunset kind of showing through as well. Now, when I color my sunset, I am going to go around my sun here because I will end up coloring on top accidentally. But if you get a little bit here and there, that's okay. I'm going to start with my orange, kind of an orangey red. I'm coloring nice and lightly because I'm going to be blending some of these colors. And so I'm just going to pick kind of little patches here and there. But I want this orangey color. I am going to be using all my warm colors. I'm even going to color in the water as well. Again, you can color a little bit on top of your sun, but not too much because we want it to still look like our sun here. All right, now I'm going to go in with my yellow. Again, color nice and light. Maybe I'll even mix it in some spots where they kind of overlap. So I'm not pressing too hard so that it's a little bit easier to mix. I'm just going to peel this crayon here. Okay. Yes, don't press too hard. Don't hurt your hand. Color some in the water. We want these white spaces filled in too. Alright, I'm going to go in with my red. Again, nice and lightly. Kind of going up to my sun, but not covering over top of my sun. It's okay if I kind of get a little bit here and there. Open spaces, I'm going to use my lighter orange. This is called yellow orange. Again, don't be afraid to color on top of some of these other areas, just kind of blending those colors. I'm trying to fill in all the white space. The only white space we should have showing is the sun. You want to hide that white space. All the way to the edges. Don't leave those edges uncolored. Okay, and you don't want to just blend all your colors together because then you can't see those separate colors like red, orange, or yellow. You can blend them here and there, but don't blend everything together. I'm going to go back in and try to get some of these other white spaces that I left. And I can still see my water because I'm pressing nice and light. Just looks like a little reflection. I'll switch it up and go back to that yellow. Once you have it all colored in and your sunset is using those warm colors, your water's using those cool colors, you are all done and you are ready for next week when we make our primary and secondary color boats. Awesome. Great job.